Every time we humans are driven to discover great and new things, that feeling goes double, especially when it comes to genetic engineering of new animals. Some of these artificial animals are amazing, while others are just downright bizarre. So from a featherless chicken to a human pig embryo, here are the top 10 most bizarre animals ever created by humans. If you think you've seen some weird creatures on our channel, well, just fasten your seatbelt for this one and prepare to be amazed. Number 10. The naked chicken. No, you aren't looking at a boiled chicken that rose from the dead. Instead, what you're looking at is actually, believe it or not, a live chicken that hatched out of its eggs that way. In fact, it was engineered by an Israeli geneticist named Avigdor Kana in 2011. Back then, the scientist worked at the Revot Agronomy Institute located somewhere near Tel Aviv. According to him, he created this featherless bird from a cross between an ordinary broiler with another special breed that had a featherless neck. The result was a chicken with no feathers at all, and to him, it was a success. But then again, the idea behind this creation was both weird and controversial. Some say the natural counterparts of chickens like that were unable to mate, so the chicken's latest ability had no benefit to the animal. In his defense, however, Kanner said that his aim was to create a bird with low fat that can survive in regions where the feathered ones don't do well. But to date, Kanner's creation was never bred commercially. Number 9. The Spider Goat. Okay, you've probably heard of Peter Parker and the Spider-Man. But meet Freckles, a kid created by a professor at the Utah State University on a small farm. At first, Freckles may look like a normal goat. She has a white pelt, bright eyes, and she happily gambles with pudding. But the truth is, Freckles is far from normal because she has one extra thing in some of her cells. These tiny inclusions, according to Professor Adam, make her look all goaty, but one part spider. Because of that, Freckles, like other goats in that farm, can produce spider silk in her skin and milk. That way, the farmers can harvest a large amount of spider silk that otherwise would be produced in very small quantities. But the real question is, what about spider silk is so important that scientists would create an animal that specially produces it? Well, according to them, spider silk, aka Dragaline silk, is stronger than even Kevlar, thus making it a special kind of rare fiber. With spider goats, this silk is available even in their milk. Number 8. HUMANO-PIGO Chimera. Every 10 minutes, at least one person is added to the global waiting list for an organ transplant. Yet only very few get to receive the organs they need because the supply is too rare. To solve this, an international team of Frankensteins from the Salk Institute in Maryland started to introduce human cells to other animals. In 2017, the team successfully created the first embryo ever to be one part human and the other part pig. Amazingly, the combo survived till 4 months old and still kicked. But while this achievement might sound like magic, in the science world, experts call creatures like this chimeras, an organism with parts from 2 different animals. According to the lead scientist Jun Wu, their motive for creating this humano-pig chimera was to reduce the death rate on the organ transplant row. To him, we humans should think of chimeras like angels, which from a scientific perspective are one part bird and the other part human. Maybe sometime in the future they'll create one. But right now, let's work with what we have. Number 7. Transparent frogs. Most times when we think about humans meddling with the natural flow of animal genetics, one story that easily comes to mind is the critical lesson learned from Jurassic Park. But in 2007, scientists at the Hiroshima University of Japan neglected those lessons to create several numbers of frogs with transparent skin, aka the see-through frogs. According to the press release, that innovation made a world record for being the very first transparent 4-legged animal ever bred in a laboratory. From a single look, You can easily see the frog's internal organs like the lungs and blood vessels of the frog without having to dissect the animal. However, to get such weird results, the scientists at work excluded the recessive genes found in pale-skinned frogs. After that, they paired ordinary frogs with those genes, and ta-da! A see-through frog with almost no skin pigment was born. And like other frogs, these frogs can do all life activities and even reproduce without any difficulty. Number 6. RUPPY, the transgenic puppy. This is RUPPY, a cloned beagle that was originally named Ruby Puppy because of its natural ability to glow like ruby crystals. But forget I said the word naturally, because this dog was far from something that was born in the wild. Instead, it was created as the first transgenic dog by a team of South Korean biologists led by a man named Byung-Chun Lee. The experiment happened at Seoul National University, where Chun Lee and his partners cloned certain fibroblast cells in C. anemones and merged it with those of a dog. In case you don't know, fibroblast cells are those cells that produce the red fluorescent gene observed in the C. anemones. However, the main reason for this groundbreaking experiment was not to give a new version of a pet to dog lovers. Instead, Lee hoped to use these fluorescent markers in the dog to identify several genetic diseases that dogs share with humans. Yes, it may sound bizarre for some of us who don't understand it. Nevertheless, it's true. Number 5. GLOFISH. Well, RUPPY isn't the only animal that glows but naturally wasn't meant to. Cats and fish are other bizarre examples we see in our daily world. As for the GLOFISH, you can say it's more beautiful than bizarre, and you can even get one aquarium full of some species for yourself. That's because there are so many of them out there. But originally, the first team of scientists that genetically modified ordinary fish to these types of glowing fish hailed from Singapore. Initially, their mission was to detect toxins in a polluted waterway. That way, the villagers using those waterways could easily become aware of the imminent danger. After much research, they accidentally invented a fish that glows, and by 2003, the fish produced was introduced to the home aquarium market. Today, you can get various species from the tetras to the zebrafish, barbs, and even the sharks, all glowing in various colors like lamp flickers. Number 4. Savannah cats. While some cat owners love their pets small, for others, the bigger the better. To fill in for them, scientists invented the Savannah cat, which is a hybrid breed between a domestic cat and a serval cat. For your information, serval cats are one of the many species of tall wildcats. So, averagely, the Savannah cats are much larger in size than they weigh and can stand up to 17 inches. This characteristic makes them the world's tallest domesticated cat breeds according to the Guinness Book of Records in 2006. Since then, that record still remains unbroken. Savannah cats are deeply cupped with wide rounded ears and very long legs that make them very fast runners. So, if you get one of these, it's more like buying a small domesticated cheetah into your house. But unlike cheetahs, they're affectionate, loyal, highly intelligent, and inquisitive. Although they're usually not the best choice for rookie cat owners, their eye color is one thing you shouldn't try to miss when you see them in real life. Number 3. The Belgian Blue Cow. Normally, cows are pretty beefy and bulky, but the Belgian Blue Cows, I'd rather switch the word bulky with extra hefty. That's because they're hyper-sculpted, having extremely lean legs, and have an ultra-muscular physique that makes them look like a buffalo. But surprisingly, these are just normal cows that grew up so big. But how did scientists make these cows so large? Well, they harnessed a common genetic mutation known as double muscling. This condition is a heritable mutation that increases the number of muscle fibers. As a result, they grow up to be super muscular as seen in the Belgian cow, which was bred as a hybrid of the local cows with the shorthorn cattle native to the United Kingdom. With so much muscle and reduced fat, it shouldn't come as a surprise that they have become the go-to choice for milk and meat farmers. But then again, the Belgian cows experience birth difficulty due to narrow birth canals in the females and low semen count in the males. So this induced mutation isn't exactly good news for the animals themselves. Now it's time for our best pick. Today, we'll be looking at an animal created to help humans battle the ever-encroaching climate change, one poop at a time. Honestly, it's just as bizarre as it sounds. So let's find out what's with it. Number 2. ENVIROPIGS. When elders say as dirty as a pig, they're scientifically not joking. That's because, like all other animals, pigs depend on phosphorus from their food because it plays a key role in the formation of bones, teeth, and cell walls. However, most pigs munch on cereal grains like corn and barley, which produce a kind of phosphorus that is ingestible without an enzyme called a phytase. Unfortunately, pigs lack phytase, and as such, most farmers feed it to their swine as a supplement. But then again, ingested phytase isn't as effective as breaking down phosphorus as the phytase created inside the pig. So, a relatively fair amount of phosphorus gets flushed out into the pig poop. That waste, in turn, can make its way into the water bodies to reduce the oxygen, invariably killing aquatic lives. To solve this, a team of Canadian scientists created genetically modified pigs dubbed ENVIROPIGS. According to the reports, these pigs produce urine and feces that contain 65% less phosphorus than ordinary pigs. Of course, if that's true, it's really great news for lakes and ocean deltas. Number 1. Dolly the sheep. In the late 1990s, Dolly was one of a series of experiments tried out at the Roslin Institute and the most successful. Back then, the team was trying to develop a better method for producing genetically modified livestock. To do this, they started investigating how specialized cells like skin or brain cells could be used to make a whole new animal. After a series of trials, Dolly was finally cloned from a cell taken from 2 kinds of sheep. They took the first cell from the mammary gland of a 6-year-old Finn Dorset sheep, and the other was an egg cell from a Scottish black-faced sheep. She was born by a surrogate mother in 1996, making her the first mammal to be cloned from a small adult cell. But despite being a fully genetic animal, Dolly lived a normal life, gave birth to many lambs, and was a star back in the day. Sadly, in 2000, Dolly was diagnosed with a rare sheep virus and later died of arthritis in 2003. So long, Dolly. Until next time, adios.